Welcome to another episode of The Rebel Show with Bree Mesquit. I'm Bree Mesquit, and today I'm super pumped. This is my most requested lesson, is building your clientele. I'm gonna give you guys 10 actionable steps and key points that you guys need to put into practice consistently to be able to build your clientele, build a sustainable, successful, and profitable aesthetics business, specifically when it comes to waxing. Let's get straight into it. This one's gonna be jam-packed. Get a pen and paper ready. You're gonna wanna take notes. So first things first, we need to develop our skills. You guys need to have technique down, or at least to a certain extent. We are forever students. We're always going to be learning. There's always room for improvement, but to be learning the actual action of providing a waxing service at the same time as trying to build your business and learning to become a business owner. When you guys go solo, you are now stepping into the world of entrepreneurship. You are no longer just a waxer. You are no longer just a hairstylist. You are now an entrepreneur. You are a business owner, and you're going to have to learn how to operate a business. And it is a big task, that is for sure. Very rewarding, but it can be a lot, okay? So we want to first make sure before embarking on a venture of opening up our own business that you have developed your skills and you have confidence in providing those services. So how do we begin with developing our skills? Workshops, on-the-job training. That's what I did. I decided to go and work elsewhere before venturing out on my own. I worked at European Wax Center on and off for 3 to 4 years. I say on and off because I was hired and fired twice. That is a story for another episode. But on the job training, I get so many comments on my posts of people complaining about working for a corporate waxing center and everything that goes into it. We need to change our mindset, you guys. You are being paid to learn, okay? There's gonna be aspects of it that you're not gonna like, but if you don't like it, then the way you're gonna change it is by committing yourself to a year or two of learning, getting on-the-job experience, getting paid to learn, and then you can know that your end goal is to go solo and go out on your own. And then guess what? You're the boss, you get to make the rules. But right now we are going to endure, and we're going to have the mindset of we are being paid to learn, and that this is further helping us get closer to our end goal. So on the job training, I highly recommend. Big fan of it. Really important though, that you are also vetting the place that you are going to work. So you want to get maybe some feedback from other employees. Take it with a grain of salt though. A lot of people are going to be complaining because they don't like their boss does this or that or whatever. But how is the training? That's what you're really going to want to look at. Are they booked? Are they going to be bringing clients in for you? Are you going to be able to actually be servicing clients consistently throughout the day so that you're exercising these skills and you're learning? That's the most important thing to look for. Attending trade shows. This is something I really wish I would have started doing earlier on in my career. So the first trade show that we ever attended, we were actually a vendor. So it was only a couple years ago that I attended my first trade show. I've been in this industry for 12, almost 13 years. To put that into context, I wish I would have started attending trade shows as a student. The networking, the classes that they provide, it's really valuable for sure. I would highly recommend getting to some trade shows and taking those workshops and classes while you're at the trade show. Another way is hands-on group classes. Now, this is something that's so much more available to us now. Find someone in your area. Find a certified Rebel Wax trainer. We will have that launching here pretty soon so that I can't, unfortunately, be in all places at once. I wish I could. I wish I could clone myself. So the next best thing is to cloning myself is creating other mini Bree waxers. I will be teaching my technique. They will be certified, and hopefully you can find someone in your area where you can go and take a hands-on class. I also have a free 6-week course available to you guys. So this just recently launched. It is a free hard waxing 101, everything from A to Z. Brazilian demos are included in there, men's waxing, from brows to toes is included in this course. So that's a good place to start. If you are brand new to developing your skills, you're in school, you're fresh out of school, or maybe you're switching over to waxing and you've been providing other services up until this point, start there. Take my 6-week course and then practice, friends and family, implement the things that you learn in my course. And then from there, I would recommend going and taking a hands-on class so that you have some sort of context, you have some sort of experience under your belt, and you'll get even that much more out of a hands-on class. One-on-one trainings. I personally provide private one-on-one trainings, or you can look for someone local, look for a certified Rebel wax trainer near you and book a private one-on-one training. That is a option for you as well. And lastly, educators on social media. There is so much content available to us out there, whether it's my page on Instagram, YouTube, you can find tons of other waxers and experienced wax vets putting out free demos and free information out on social media. So utilize it. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Those are probably the top 3 where you're going to find some great information. All right. So that was step number 1, is developing your skills. Step number 2. Okay. Now you have your location. You've started your business. We need to create a professional environment. So how do we create a professional environment? These things sound so basic, but the basics work, you guys. And a lot of times the basics are overlooked. We can't overlook the basics. We got to set the foundation. And how we do that is creating a professional environment, starting with being clean and sanitary. First impressions are everything. When a client walks into your treatment room or into your salon space for the first time, if there is clutter, if it's dirty, if the floor needs to be swept and mopped, in their mind, you've already degraded the value of your business and your service in their mind from their perspective. So you want to make sure it's clean and sanitary. If you're having a hard time keeping up with that based on maybe the volume of clients you're taking or whatever, you're busy. A lot of us are moms. We have other responsibilities. You may want to consider hiring a housekeeper to come in and clean your salon for you, a deep clean, maybe bi-weekly or even weekly, depending on your volume. But make sure you're staying clean and you're following standard sanitation practices. Super important. And you want your clients to witness you doing these things. So when they're done, spraying down the treatment table with Cavicide and wiping the treatment table, wiping your countertops, making sure you're wearing gloves, having your implements in clean, closed containers. Super important. People are looking for these things. Just like there's so much information out there on social media for us to consume, there also is this stuff out there for clients to consume, and they are getting smarter about what to look for when they are looking for their forever service provider. So they're more keen on looking for these things than they were 5-10 years ago when I first got started in the industry. All right, you want to make sure that you're organized. Your treatment room should not be a storage closet. If you guys have excess product and materials and back stock, keep what you need in cabinets, in dedicated storage areas, or utilize your space at home, maybe your garage, maybe you have a spare bedroom. Keep extra product there. You want to make sure everything has a home and that your room is nice, clean, and organized. This is something I struggled with for quite some time, and it definitely showed. I could see the look on clients' faces, especially my salon up here, because it was used for multiple different things. We were packing orders out of there at one point. We were sewing wax pads. I was doing demos. I was taking clients. I was running classes, and I definitely let this I slacked on the organizational, and I could see the look on client, and it's embarrassing. So stay organized. Make sure your room is clean, sanitary, and organized. All right, next thing, appropriate climate. If you haven't yet found your studio space, okay, this is number one thing you want to look for when you are looking to rent. You need to have control of the thermostat. Waxing is so finicky when it comes to the climate of our treatment room. We need to be able to have access to our own AC and be able to get the temperature down in our treatment room. The wax will not perform correctly when it's too warm. Your clients are going to be uncomfortable during the service. So making sure you have appropriate climate based on the service or services that you are providing is really, really, really important. So many girls, when I say this or post this or talk about this in a live on Instagram, whatever, they reach out there to say, that's my number one regret. I'm in a treatment room that I don't have access to the thermostat. I can't control the temperature, and it's an absolute nightmare. So save your guys yourself the headache of that, and make sure that you have the ability to control the climate. Lighting's going to be really important, especially when we're waxing, because you need to be able to see the hair. You need to be able to make sure that you're being thorough and that you're getting rid of everything. So you can either change the bulbs within your treatment room, or you can get a ring light, the half moon lights, whatever works best for you. Personally, I like to just change the bulbs that are in my treatment room because I don't like to have to work around a ring light or a moon light. But you can most definitely bring that in if needed. So I would recommend, if anything, a ring light for additional lighting as well. Super important that you are able to see. I had a business owner who is a customer of ours and uses Rebel Wax at her. So actually, she has multiple locations at this time. She has 3 now, I believe. And she reached out to me and she was asking me, how do I damage control this? I did not realize that the lighting in my treatment rooms of one of my locations was absolutely terrible. Clients were complaining. The estheticians are really frustrated because they can't see and perform their service properly. Like, what do I do? So I helped her to navigate how to, apologize to the customers, and then make the adjustments, obviously, to the lighting in her room. So it's a big deal. Lighting is a big deal. You want to make sure that you have that. All right. And then next, comfortable. You want to make sure your room's comfortable for your client. So little things like having a drop table, or even a chair, or both, a stool, whatever, depending on how much room you're working with. You want to make sure that you are guiding your clients the entire time. Immediately when they come into my treatment room, I let them know where they can set their belongings down. I let them know how to prepare for their service, whether it's undressing from the waist down for a Brazilian. I walk them through step by step and make sure that they're really comfortable. I make sure my treatment table is very comfortable. I use a mattress topper, and then on top of that, I use a wax pad. And during the winter months, I will add a mattress like warmer. I'll put that under my wax pad, keep it on low for waxing services, but it just helps make the whole experience more comfortable for your clients. And these little details really make a huge difference, okay? Your clients notice these things. And then lastly, you can consider having some extra amenities. You may want to have a little mini fridge with some waters available, or sodas, or whatever it is that you'd like to provide. You can have feminine wipes available, have tampons available, have pads available for your clients, have those extra, maybe some mints at the front desk. These things don't cost us much, but it can mean a world of difference to your clients. And also it can set you apart from other locations or other places that they have gone that didn't have these things. So then they're like, you know what? I really enjoyed the experience with Bree because of XYZ. And it could be literally something that costs us pennies, but it makes their overall experience just that much better. So number 2 was create a professional environment. Number 3, you're going to want to consider what services you're going to be offering. So you have to decide, are you going to niche down, or do you want to offer a variety of services? I'm always a fan of niching down. The riches are in the niches. So there's people like Kelly Baker. She only does brows, and she has created an amazing brand and business for herself based on niching down and only providing brow waxing. So you don't have to get that niche down. Niching down can even be you're focused on waxing only, or maybe you are specifically a Brazilian waxer. So you have to think about that, what you would like to do. If there's something that you really excel at, run with it and become known for that in your area. Or you can offer a variety of services. Now, if you choose this route, you want to make sure that you are solid on one service before adding another. It's really tempting when you first go out on your own because you're wanting so badly just to fill your books and get people in. So we think that if we have a huge menu that we're going to be able to attract a ton of people. It actually doesn't necessarily always work that way. When people see that you really specialize in one thing, they're going to want to come to you for that. When they see all these options, it's really hard to be an expert and proficient in all of those things. So what I personally did was I was very focused on just waxing. Then I started doing eyelash extensions as well and got really good at eyelash extensions. And then once I mastered waxing, I mastered eyelash extensions, I added spray tanning, and then I kept it at that. So those are the 3 services that I offer. And I did that for probably 4 or 5 years. At this point, I am niched down to I am only providing waxing, and I'm very well known for my Brazilians in particular. So that was point number 3. Consider the services that you are going to offer. Right. Number 4 is, and this is so important, is developing an online presence. So how do we develop an online presence? First of all, you need to build a website. Now, to build a website, you can either hire out, you can go on sites like Fiverr. There's a few others. It's escaping my mind right now, but you can hire independent contractors and website developers amongst a bunch of other services as well. But you can hire someone to create a website. Or you can utilize free website builders like Wix. I know the insurance company that I personally use, Associated Skincare Professionals, has a website builder available to you as a resource as well. So make sure you have a website. Don't overcomplicate it. You want to have social proof on your website, which is going to be reviews from customers or clients. Have your family write up honest reviews on services that they've received from you. You're going to want to have your contact information, okay? Where are you located? I can't tell you how many times girls reach out to me on Instagram and I do a little mini Instagram audit for them and I can't tell where they're located. I have no idea where they're located. You want to have your location on there. You want to have an about me, a founder's story, an about me. Who are you? What's your name? What's a little bit of your story? How'd you get into the industry? What's your passions in the industry? So make sure you have an about me. And then of course we want to have our service menu available on our website as well. And then lastly, frequently asked questions is going to be really beneficial as well. And actually, lastly is going to be your booking link. If you guys aren't utilizing online booking, highly encourage it. People like that instant gratification of when they think, hey, I want to book this service with this person. They don't want to be going back and forth in text, or maybe it's later in the evening. A lot of my clients were moms. They put the kids down and then they start taking care of all their busy work stuff that they didn't get to during the day, including booking their services. So if they have any sort of decency and respect, they're not going to be texting you at 11 o'clock at night to book the service. They want to just be able to go to your link, see what's available, and go ahead and book. So make sure you're utilizing that and that you have the booking link on your website and that it's very clear how to book with you and your policies as well. Okay. And then next, you want to utilize Google locations and Google business. So you'll want to register your business on Google. Every single time I have a new client come to me, the first question I ask is, how'd you hear about me? And many of them are, I Googled waxing in Newport Beach and you popped up. So make sure that you're able to be found. Okay. You can utilize Yelp. Yelp is great for collecting reviews. Encourage your clients to do that. And then of course, social media. Okay. Social media is free. It's a free resource to us. So make sure you're utilizing it. Now, if you're watching this episode and you are a student, you're currently in school, time is now to start building your brand. Okay, people invest into people. We're really seeing a trend of getting away from these corporate centers. A lot of corporations, corporate waxing centers specifically, are closing down, and people are seeking out other people. They want to build a relationship with their service provider. We provide intimate services, so there's that aspect to it. People aren't loving the whole corporate centers anymore. They're really seeking out their person. Okay, so the way that they're going to do that is by you need to make yourself visible. You need to make it that people can find you, but it starts in school. People want to invest into your journey. And the whole goal with social media is going to be the like, know, and trust factor. Okay. And I will go into detail on this in a future episode, but that's the whole goal, is to get them to like you, to get to start to know you, and then hopefully build that trust so they'll push that book button. So the social media platforms that you're going to want to be using is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Now, when you're first starting, that is completely overwhelming. It becomes a full-time job, social media. So you're going to want to pick at least one. And the way to pick is you're going to have to ask yourself, where is my ideal client spending their time? Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it YouTube? Now, the safest bet really is to just go for Instagram. If you're having a hard time decide, start with Instagram. Facebook is kind of fizzling out when it comes to business pages. It's great for groups and local community building, but it's not necessarily great for building a clientele per se. So I would focus on Instagram or TikTok, again, depending on your clientele. I'm in my mid-30s. Instagram suits really well for myself and my audience. But if you are new to the industry, you're on the younger side, TikTok may be where you want to spend your time. Pick one, be consistent, and go all in on it. All right, that was point number 4. Now we are to point number 5, which is encouraging reviews. So one thing you can do is actually have at your checkout counter, have a little QR code made up, frame it nicely so it's visible, and encourage your clients to scan that and give you a review, whether it's on Google, on Yelp, or through your online booking site. A lot of online booking sites actually you can automate it to where it texts them 24, 48, 72 hours after their service and asks them for a review. Then what you're going to want to do is start screenshotting those reviews and posting them on your website and sharing them to your social media. This is what we call social proof. You want to gather as much of that as you can so that you're helping to build towards that like, know, and trust factor, mainly though, when it comes to reviews. Encourage reviews. You can give incentives. You can offer $5 off the service if they leave you a review. Get creative with it, but make sure you're collecting those reviews. Point number 6 is going to be collabs and trades. I built my entire business when I was located in Newport Beach, California, based on collabs and trades. So you can find any non-competing service provider. So if you're a waxer, hairstylist, nail tech, massage therapist, barbers, again, any non-competing services, you can offer to trade. You can, if they've already got a fully built clientele, offer a free service. And then if they love it, they're going to go and share with their clients. Offer incentives, maybe $5 per referral that they can use towards future services. You can even do trades. Now, when I do a trade, I like to do dollar for dollar. So if I'm getting my hair done and trade for a waxing service, if she normally would charge $120, I normally would charge $60 for whatever service it is that she picked, then I would owe her the difference of $60. So I like to make sure that I keep it super fair across the board. I prefer just do dollar for dollar, and then we just don't factor in tips. I usually try to have that conversation at the beginning, like, let's not do tips, just service, flat rate, your normal rates, we'll trade dollar for dollar. So quick story, when I was in Newport, I had a hairstylist, a well-known hairstylist come, and her lashes were terribly ruined by a previous tech. And I was super honest and upfront with her that this is going to be a process. There's a lot of damage to your natural lashes. With the results and the look that you're going for, we're not going to be able to achieve that right now. It's going to be a process. I need you to commit and give me at least 2 to 3 months. But I can promise you at the end of that, you're going to have the look that you want. We're going to restore health to your natural lashes. And I'm confident that you'll be really happy with your set. She was not happy, but she trusted me. I built that trust. Because of giving those realistic expectations, not just telling her what she wants to hear, because I knew she could be a really valuable client to me. And that if I got her as a client, I knew she could send me tons of people, but I needed to be honest and make sure that she was ready for the journey we were going to embark on when it comes to her lashes. So we went through the process of restoring her natural lashes, and she did everything I recommended, used the products I recommended, and she had the best, most beautiful lashes at the end of, actually, we achieved it a little bit quicker than that 3-month mark that I had promised. Under promise, over deliver. Side note, super important, okay? But she single-handedly probably helped me build 80% of my clientele. She told every one of her clients, almost all my clients were also her clients, and it was an amazing collab, and we would trade services. I would do spray tans, lashes, and waxing for her, and then I was able to get my hair done every 6 to 8 weeks. So this is huge. Don't slack on this. And this is also why it could be really valuable when you guys are looking for a treatment room or a studio to rent within a salon, already established salon with other non-competing service providers, so that they can send their clients to you as well. All right, that was point number 6. Let's move on to 7, which is promotions and discounts. Now, you want to make sure that when it comes to sales and promotions, that you are not just out of desperation, last minute throwing up sales. You will start training your customers and your clients to wait for those sales. So you want to be looking out at the next quarter. So pretend we're in December right now. I'm going to be looking at January, February, and March and saying, okay, in January, I'm going to want to run a New Year's sale. February, Valentine's Day. Maybe I do some sort of Valentine's Day promotion. And March, for me personally, it's my birthday, so I can do a birthday promotion for the month of March. Maybe you do a spring promotion. Maybe you don't do anything at all in the month of March. You want to make sure you're being intentional and you're not just throwing up sales and promotions out of desperation. Okay. Other things you can consider is intro pricing for new clients. I used to do half off for their first Brazilian, or even a free brow wax for their first time, just to get them in, because I was so confident that once they got in and they experienced both me as a person and as a service provider and my actual service, I knew that they would stay. So that might be something that you consider, just to encourage them to get into the door with you. You can have loyalty programs where after maybe their 5th or 6th wax, and they get one for free. That could be something you can consider. And then lastly, memberships and packages. I implemented this for my business when I was back in Southern California, and it went over huge. Customers, clients absolutely loved this. So that could be something that you consider as well. So that was point number 7, promotions and discounts. Now let's get on to number 8, which is providing excellent customer service. So important, okay? Excellent customer service. I have on my notes here, it starts at booking, but actually it starts from the moment that they discover you, which is your social media. Okay, so you need to be providing value. You want to be posting educational content for them, for your ideal client though, not for other estheticians, for your future customers, for your future clients. Okay, so excellent customer service actually begins there. Then it begins again at booking. So utilizing online booking, so important, making sure that it's just easy. We don't want to add any obstacles for our clients when it comes to the booking process. Once you get that yes, you want it to be so easy for them to just get on your books and get in and experience your service, okay? Bedside manner. I'm going to share a quick story. When I was trained, so I trained for 4 of the centers, 4 European wax centers, and I had this trainee come in one day, and we got into our Brazilian portion of the training. After she performed her first Brazilian, and this is embarrassing for me to even say, but I'm trying to get this point across. She looked at the client, the demo model, whom she didn't know, this wasn't a friend or family, and said, "I feel like I just lost my virginity." I immediately asked her to leave the room. The look on the customer's face was like horrified. I was horrified. I was so embarrassed. I felt so bad for this customer. I asked her to leave the room. I don't even know if I had the authority to do this, but I told her she could go home for the day and that our training was done. And I immediately got on the phone with the owners and let them know, and they let her go immediately. Now, when we're working for ourselves, you don't have a boss that's going to fire you. Your client's going to fire you. And that client is going to go and share. Unfortunately, human nature is we are more drawn to negativity and bad news. That's why you see what's all over the news all the time. They're not coming out and telling you how many puppies were saved. They're telling you all the disasters of the world. When a client has a bad experience, they're going to go and tell so many people. So not only did you lose that client, you're losing potentially 20, 30 plus future potential clients. Bedside manner is so important. This is somewhere where I see people struggle in our industry because it is such a relational transaction. You're building a relationship with your client, but you need to make sure you're always drawing that line of professionalism and not crossing it, okay? No matter how long you've been with these clients and how comfortable you get, you still need to keep professionalism and have great bedside manner. It's super important, okay? Another way to provide excellent customer service is your follow-up. You want to follow up with after a new client and say, hey, it's Bree. It was so great to meet you yesterday. Or maybe you do a 48-hour follow-up. Whatever you implement, stay consistent on it. So decide what you want it to be. I would recommend 24 hours. So personally, I would reach out. Hey, Jessica, it's Bree. It was really, really nice to meet you yesterday. I just want to check in and see if you had any questions, concerns, and how your skin's feeling. Okay. And then go from there. Address any concerns they may have, or maybe they're just responding, it was awesome, my skin feels great, I can't wait for my next appointment. And then guess what? Screenshot that, more social proof for you. And they've been on the receiving end of just excellent customer service. They feel like you really, really care, and they will be a lifelong client of yours. Okay, so that was point number 8, providing excellent customer service. Now, point number 9 is going to be engaging in the community. So this is really important when you're trying to bring about what we call brand awareness. You want people to start to get to know about your business and that you exist so that they can book and come and experience your service. One of the ways you can do that is by engaging in the community. Now, what do I mean by that? How do we engage in the community? Just simply by hobbies. What are you into? Personally, my family, we're all very into archery. Joining an archery club, going and doing something that we love doing, but then it also gives us the opportunity to be placed in front of more people and have the potential for more eyes to be on our business and more awareness that I even exist and what it is that I do. So when I go to these things, it could be through, if you like to go to church, local events, local meetups, the gym. But what you're going to want to do is make sure to have the intention to spark up a conversation with at least one new person every single time you go and you engage in any of these activities that I just listed. But start by asking them about them. Hi, I'm Bree. What's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? And then people love to talk about themselves. They're going to be your biggest fan because you've given them the floor and shown interest in them, and they get to talk about themselves. People love talking about themselves. But then naturally, they're going to, in return, ask, well, what is it that you do? Now, this isn't just to convert them into a client, but it's called top of mind marketing, okay? It's top of mind. So now, even if you're talking to a man that isn't necessarily into waxing services, men get waxed all the time, so maybe they are. But maybe their wife, their daughter, a friend, a coworker, you're now top of mind. If that topic ever gets brought up of waxing at lunch, at dinner, at home, they'll be like, wait, actually, I just met this girl at the archery club the other day, and she has a business locally here in Bend. You should go check her out. She gave me her card. Here's her website. So top of mind. So it's not always to convert that person specifically into your client, but just they can actually convert others into a client. And now they know that you even exist. All right. So that was point number 9. And then lastly, and a really huge point that we do not want to skip over is asking for referrals. You want to ask your clients. I've gotten DM'd on this, but how do I ask? You just ask. When you're at checkout, say, hey, you've been coming to me for quite some time. I've seen your reviews. I'm so happy you're happy with my services. It would mean the world to me. Can we actually skip out on you leaving me a cash tip today? Instead, can you get your phone out and go through your contacts and send them I can give you a $5 off gift card to send out to your friends. Like, I would love some referrals. My goal is to really build up my clientele. I want to be doing this full time. Whatever your goal is, let people in on it, because people really love supporting other people's goals, but they're not going to know if you don't ask. Quick story on this one. My husband and I went to have lunch at a local, it's actually a grilled cheese spot here in Bend called Melt. We wanted to check it out. We wanted to get grilled cheese, and it was delicious. It was great. Their customer service was awesome. When we were sitting down to eat, the owner started walking around greeting everyone. And he's like, hey, can you please share this with your friends? I'm like, oh yeah. And that should have been on my mind, but it wasn't. I was just thinking about eating my grilled cheese. But just because of him simply asking, I put a post up on a local Facebook group here. I took a picture of the menu real quick. I shared my experience. There was like 40, 50 comments and all these people saying, oh, I've seen that place. I've been meaning to check it out. I'm going to go get lunch there tomorrow, whatnot. Easily, probably at least 10 to 15 new customers walked through the door just based on that one post. And it all stemmed from the owner just simply asking. Not everyone has that on their mind. Like, oh, I could really help her business out by sharing this with my friends. Like, people they're not thinking about that. But if you ask them, they're more than happy to do it. So make sure you're asking for referrals. Now, you can also consider having referral incentives. I used to do send me 3, get 1 for free. So I would have that available to my clients. If they sent me 3 friends that actually booked and paid for a service, then they received the same service or a service for free. You'll want to make sure that you have, terms and conditions to that. Maybe it's a certain dollar amount up to $50 or whatever, but you want to make sure that you have something like that, or not make sure. It's your business. So you can do as you please, but I would definitely highly consider having a referral incentive. And then another thing that's kind of fun is maybe considering including tips into your service pricing, and then just like really hit hard on asking people, hey, if you're really happy with my service today, I don't accept cash tips, but I would love if you could send my website, my Instagram, take a selfie, whatever, and send it out to at least 3 friends, post it on your social media, tag me, whatever it is. That can be a great way to ask for referrals as well. All right, so that is all 10 things. I hope you guys found massive value from this. I know this is a lot. Pick at least 3 things to start implementing now. Make sure you're staying consistent with it. And if you found any value from this, please share this with your other beauty industry friends, and make sure to like, follow, and subscribe.